Imagine being 2-0 up against the greatest player of all time, Novak Djokovic. Imagine standing on the precipice of the biggest win of your life in a Grand Slam quarterfinal. For Lorenzo Musetti, that dream wasn't just close, it was within his grasp. But in a cruel twist of fate that has come to define his last 12 months, his body betrayed him. A sharp, searing pain in his right leg didn't just end that match, it sent a shockwave through his entire 2026 season. Welcome to Tennis Desk, your home for the most in-depth analysis of the ATP and WTA tours. Today, we are breaking down the high-stakes comeback of Italy's most stylish shotmaker. The tennis world held its breath this week when a simple, three-word caption appeared on social media: "Back at the office." Accompanied by a video of Lorenzo Musetti sliding across the pristine red clay of the Monte Carlo Country Club, it was the update fans had been praying for. Looking at the footage, Musetti appears sharp. The fluidity of his backhand, arguably the most beautiful single-hander in the modern game, looks intact. There is a specific rhythm to his movement on clay that has been missing from the tour during his recent absence. This isn't just a practice session, it's a statement of intent. After a month of silence and speculation, the world number 5 is signaling that the recovery phase is over, and the hunt for a title has begun. To understand why this comeback is so crucial, we have to look at the gauntlet of physical struggles Musetti has endured. The nightmare began in Melbourne. After that tragic retirement against Djokovic, the momentum he had built as a top 5 player hit a brick wall. He tried to return in Acapulco, but his body said no. He showed up at Indian Wells, but as the 4th seed, he looked like a shadow of himself, lacking the explosive footwork required to compete on the slow hard courts of the California desert. Then came the final blow, a last-minute withdrawal from the Miami Open due to a recurring right arm issue. Writing to his fans, Lorenzo was candid. He admitted he simply wasn't at 100%. For a player whose game relies on extreme feel and precision, playing at 80% is a recipe for disaster. He chose to skip the Sunshine Double to protect his future. It was a gamble, dropping points to save his career. Why is the tour so desperate to have him back? Because in 2025, Lorenzo Musetti was arguably the most consistent force on the planet whenever dirt was involved. He didn't just play well, he dominated. Last year, he reached the semi-finals or better at every single ATP Masters 1000 clay event, Monte Carlo, Madrid, and Rome, before repeating the feat at Roland Garros. He became the only player that season to show that level of surface-specific consistency. He was the man standing between the giants and the trophies. In Monte Carlo last year, he was a set away from the title against Carlos Alcaraz before, you guessed it, an injury slowed him down. The narrative is clear: Musetti's only real opponent isn't across the net, it's his own physical durability. However, it would be a mistake to label him a clay court specialist. As he told the Sit Down podcast earlier this February, Lorenzo feels he is becoming a complete player. His 2024 run to the Wimbledon semifinals and his 2025 US Open quarterfinal showed that his flair translates to every surface. He is taller, stronger, and more aggressive than the teenager who first burst onto the scene. He is learning to shorten points and use his serve as a weapon. But despite this evolution, clay remains his natural habitat. It is the surface that grants him the time to craft his points like an artist. As we approach the 119th edition of the Monte Carlo Masters starting April 5, the stakes couldn't be higher. Musetti isn't just defending points, he's defending his status as a contender for the French Open. The red clay of the Principality is where he feels most at home. It's where he famously dismantled Stefanos Tsitsipas and Alex de Minaur. For Musetti to succeed here, he must remain calm. The temptation will be to overpush in the first few rounds to prove he's healthy. But as we've seen, the clay season is a marathon, not a sprint. Lorenzo Musetti is at a crossroads. He has the talent of a Grand Slam champion and the heart of a warrior, but will his body finally allow him to fulfill his destiny on the dirt? The office is open, the practice looks promising, and the tennis world is ready for the return of the Italian maestro. What do you think? Can Musetti stay healthy enough to win his first Masters 1000 title this month? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash that like button and subscribe to Tennis Desk for more expert analysis and breaking news. I'm your host, and we'll see you at the next changeover.